already filmed this video once. All the footage was blurry. I tried to salvage, you know, the information and the voiceover, and yeah, no, the file corrupted, didn't save properly, and I'm not redoing it, so I'll refilm instead. Hello. Hello friends. And today we're talking about EPQs. May sound dull, trust me, yeah, no, it kinda is. It's an EPQ, if you do not know, because you don't do one, or it's not offered. It's an extended project qualification. I did that backwards. I froze again. Oops. Sorry. I need to stop. So, for an EPQ, you can either do a dissertation, which I believe is what it's called, which is basically writing a load of things, which to me sounded really dull. No offense to the majority of my friends who are actually doing a dissertation, that just ain't me. So I'm doing an artifact, which is like making something or putting on an event. You still have to write about it. Maybe even more or less. I'm staring out the window because there is a pheasant in the field. They're pretty birds. So, as for an artifact, anyone wanted to make a thing rather than put on an event, because putting on an event would just involve like a lot of coordination with people, and then you've got to find the right people, and I'd rather fly solo. Whereas, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm not though. So I'm like, yo, what do you really like? I'm like, well, costumes, man, they're really cool. I'm like, hell yeah. Did any of that make sense? No. And you're welcome, I will now explain what that meant. So basically, I decided I wanted to make a costume. Of what? I didn't know. So then I decided, hey, I watched several YouTubers like Carolina, I'm not gonna attempt to say her last name, and Bernadette Banner, who do like historical costuming videos from like the 17th to 19th century, I believe is their kind of era. So I was like digging down into the good content, and I was like, yo, let's do this with like a Disney character. And my first thought was like, oh, what about like Merida? Because it's like old Celtic and it would look really cool. But then I thought, but there's not many like actual elements from the time that exists, and it's all just photos, and therefore there probably won't be accurate patterns of it, and that would just be kind of a massive faff. And then I thought, yo, Mother Gothel though, because she's got like that cool like Renaissance medieval look going on, and it's all like flowing and gorgeous, and it looks to be like her dress looks like late 1400s. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. When is Tangled set? Like, when did the animators draw inspiration from? 1780! Which is like a far cry from like what her dress looks like. So I'm like, yo, we could either make like a dress that looks like hers but it's just more like historically accurate, or we could make her dress as it would have been in the time period that they set it up for. I chose the second option They're currently in our garden shed thing. Real descriptive. Is all of my, well, when I say mine, it's a lot of my mum's stuff, but it just be like that. Sewing stuff, along with a wallpaper table, because I'm like, it's pretty long, it's the length of all the fabric that I deal with. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what do you do when you're looking at a costume? You've got to design it first, silly. So I did. I was pretty happy with it. I think it looks kind of cool. The pattern for the dress that I have does not look exactly the same. The dress that I have has a stomacher, which my drawing does not, which is a slight error on my behalf, but apart from that, everything is pretty much the way I wanted it to be, give or take a few bows or ruffles. The higher class seem to be big fans of bows and ruffles, but I doubt that Miss Gothel had the money for that, considering she was living in a tower. Like, where does she get her income from? That's a different story. The economics of Disney. Where do they get their money? Not Disney the company, but like the characters who were just kind of, you know, just chilling. You never really see them working a job. It's a great lesson to teach kids. But, I mean, so after designing and obviously, as I mentioned, picking out pattern, I was like, we gotta test run it. Gotta give it like a solid go, because if you did not know, fabric is expensive. Like, I found like the cheapest per meter of like the type of fabric that I like wanted and that was required, and it still cost a lot of money. Yikes. From the future, in any future endeavours of costume making for myself, which will probably be cosplay, video to follow on that, I will probably just use bed sheets and dye the fabric accordingly, because bed sheets work quite well, because I bought a duvet set and a bed sheet and made a mock of the gown but the petticoat, because at that point I'm like, I cannot be bothered to do this anymore. Inspiration. And I then made the underdress, which I believe is called a chemise. It doesn't sound right to me. I think that's how it's pronounced. Don't take my word for it. So I made those two wonderful things. The chemise does look like a bedsheet, but in certain parts of the, but mainly the torso area of the gown, it does not look as much like a bedsheet, partially because there's a lot of pleating. I also really liked pleats and capey looking things. And I think that's why, side note, so Mother Gothel wears like a cape. They didn't really wear capes and cloaks really in that era, in the 1780s really, I don't believe, at least, correct me if I'm wrong. So the original design of the pattern has like this back kind of cape look kind of thing, so I'm keeping that in as like an homage, because if not I would just make it like a straight kind of bodice, because it opens and closes on the front. Side note over, the point at which I am currently at is cutting out all the various pieces in the fabric that I need for the actual gown. Hold that thought. Undergarments. I have made the corset, as a lot of people would look at it and be like, oh yeah, it's a corset, and it's a thing called a stay. It's a precursor. It was used in the late 1700s, and it's essentially the same thing, still fiddly, still boned. That was really fun, actually. Because when I first made it, finished it, you know, I made my corset too big. Yeah, I'm quite ashamed of that, because then I had to actually make it to fit me, so therefore it does not properly fit my mannequin, which is cool ish. So basically, the reason I'm just adjusting my sitting position, the reason that I am speaking about this is because I would like to document my process on making this kind of elaborate gown. It's about 20 pieces. It's 20-pound pieces all in all. I think it's gonna look really pretty, and I'd like to show other people and also help me keep straight on its documentation. So then when it goes to writing everything up, it'll be good. I apologise if I got into several different tangents and that was a bit dull for you, but it's something that I find quite interesting. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I'm hoping to edit some things soon. If there's anything that you'd particularly like to see, tell me, and maybe you'll do it. Ooh, you never know. We've got time on our hands, ladies and gents, and procrastination is my game. But thank you.